we have to get this issue. If we have to talk about this every day for the next 10 years, just so people finally understand, wait a minute, the Quran does command this, and the Hadith do command this, and Muhammad did command violence. If we just get over that hurdle so that people understand that is what Islam teaches, we'll have definitely gained some ground. But on the issue of science, there's lots of different scientific issues that we could look at, lots of different topics. For instance, say personal hygiene and the spread of diseases. What are the implications of Muhammad's teachings on the issue of the spread of disease and personal hygiene? And take something like the numerous commands in the Quran that you can have sex with your female captives and you can have up to 4 wives. Think about the implications there. You're a Muslim. You go and you conquer a land, and you can take as many female captives as you want and have sex with them. So you can take 10 captives, 10 slaves from this country that you just this area that you just conquered. You can take these women home and have sex with them. But wait a minute, you've also got your 4 wives already. Think about the spread of disease. If any one of those women, one of those women that you just conquered has any sort of disease, you just spread that disease to all your wives. And any children that's now born from all your slave girls, your captives, and all your wives, those children could be affected by those diseases. So think about just the implications of something. Muslims think, oh, it's okay to have sex with all my female captives. I've conquered them, I've killed their husbands, so I have every right in the world, according to the Quran, to have sex with as many captives as I want. Think about where this could lead. This can be very dangerous to a society. So we can think of issues like the spread of disease and the implications of Muhammad's teachings. We can think of Muhammad's view of reproduction and how babies are formed and so on. I'll probably talk about that on the next program. But in this program, we're going to talk about Muhammad's view of the universe. Because this is an area where Muhammad said a lot of things. Muhammad said a lot of things about the universe and the structure of the universe and stars and the earth and so on. And this allows us to investigate this, to see whether Muhammad was right or not. And when we do this, we find Muhammad was wrong on almost everything he said. The only things he was right on are things where it was something that everyone knew. Should we go into some examples?
Yes, if we just have some points, let's start with point number 1. For an example, I read about where is the sun goes, sits, and where is the sun rise, and goes to a whale.
Yeah, and actually, oh yeah, the whale.
Yes.
Let's actually start. Let's start at the bottom. At the bottom, what's under everything? Because if you put the various passages of the Quran and some from the Hadith together, you get Muhammad's picture of the universe. So if we're talking about Muhammad's universe, Muhammad's view of the universe, we can actually put all these passages together and see what Muhammad believed about the structure of the entire universe. And then we can say, all right, is it right or wrong? Did Muhammad get it right, or did he get it wrong? Now, if in the 7th century Muhammad had a correct view of the universe, I'd say that's some good evidence for Islam. The question is, did he? Now, we'll start off with Quran 68:1, which just begins with a simple word, nun, which can mean various things. But when we go to the early Muslim commentators, Muhammad's companions, and we ask them what this word nun was referring to, it's very interesting. It referred to a giant fish or a giant whale that was at the bottom. And the earths were actually stacked up on the back of this whale. And sometimes this giant whale would get agitated, and that's where earthquakes come from. The earth shakes because the giant fish that's at the bottom of the earths becomes agitated and starts shaking around. Let me read you. This is from Ibn Abbas. So it's one thing for a Muslim to say in the world today, hey, this is what Muhammad meant. This is Ibn Abbas, a companion of Muhammad. If anyone knows what this verse means, it's Ibn Abbas, the founder of Quranic studies. So the verse reads, Nun, by the pen and by the record which men write. That's how it begins. And in the tafsir of Ibn Abbas says this, Allah swears by the Nun, which is the whale that carries the earths on its back while in water, and beneath which is the bull. And under the bull is the rock, and under the rock is the dust, and none knows what is under the dust save Allah. Now maybe you want to say Ibn Abbas had it wrong about there being a bull under there and everything, fine. If anyone knows what Muhammad meant when he referred to the nun, Ibn Abbas, and we actually have from Ibn Masud, who, according to Muhammad, was his greatest expert in the Quran. Ibn Masud said the same thing. He said it refers to a giant fish that's at the bottom of things. So here you have from two companions of Muhammad saying that what this means in Surah 68:1 is that there's a giant fish or a giant whale at the bottom of the earth. So that's our starting point. That's what's at the bottom. Now let's go a little further. In the Quran, Surah 65:12, let me read it to you. Allah is He who created 7 heavens, and of the earth the like of them. Allah created 7 heavens, and of the earth the like of them. So there are 7 earths. And what does He mean by 7 earths? Well, let me read to you.
7 heavens or 7 earths?
There's both. There's 7 heavens, and of the earth there is the same number. Now let me read to you Jami at-Tirmidhi. This is Muhammad talking, and he explains what these 7 earths are. Muhammad said, "Do you know what is under you?" So he's talking to his companions, and he says, "I'm going to explain to you the structure as you move down. I'm going to tell you the structure of our world." Muhammad said, "Do you know what is under you?" They said, "Allah and His Messenger know better." He said, "Indeed, it is the earth." Okay, you got that one right, Muhammad. So check, Muhammad. We're standing on the earth. You got something right there. Then he said, "Do you know what is under that?" So now we're getting into it. Now we have a chance to test Muhammad. Muhammad is telling us what's under this earth. How would he know this unless he's a prophet? So if he gets it right, we have some evidence that he's a prophet. If he gets it wrong, well, that would be some disconfirmation. He said, "Indeed, it is the earth." Then he said, "Do you know what is under that?" They said, "Allah and His Messenger know better." He said, "Verily, below it is another earth, between the two of which is a distance of 500 years. Until he enumerated 7 earths. And he said, between every 2 earths is a distance of 500 years. So Muhammad says, what's under you? The earth. That's correct. And he said, what's under that?
Yeah.
Well, it's another earth, a journey of 500 years. So it would take 500 years for you to walk the distance between this earth and the next earth. And what's under that? Well, there's another earth, 500-year journey underneath that. So they're stacked up. They're stacked up.
All the 7 of them.
Yes, all 7 of them. Not only that, we know from Muhammad's teachings that they're actually flat. So it's not one spherical earth and then another spherical earth underneath that. That wouldn't even make any sense. Then you'd have, a stack of spheres, which that's wrong too. But let's just be clear here that these are all flat earths. Let's go through a couple brief passages of the Quran. Surah 20:53. Says that He who has made for you the earth like a carpet spread out. So he describes the earth as a carpet spread out. Carpets are flat. Quran 71:19. And Allah has made the earth for you as a carpet spread out. Now this next verse is one that's very important because we have very clear commentaries from Muslim scholars on this one. Surah 88:17 through 20. And I'm going to ask Pastor Joseph to read verse 20 of Surah 88. I'll read it in English, and then he can read the last part, verse 20, in Arabic for you. "Do they never reflect on the camels and how they were created? The heaven, how it was raised on high." This is very important because in Islam, Allah actually lifts up the heaven, and heaven is actually something that would fall on you if Allah weren't holding it up. That's false. The heaven, how it was raised on high. The mountains, how they were sent down. The earth, how it was made flat. The earth, how it was made flat. And Pastor Joseph, could you read that for us in Arabic? Verse 20.
وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت.
Now let's go to, so don't believe us, but well,